Hey everybody, byscreenside here today, and I'm back with another speed build video. This house that I'm building is a ranch style home. It is a spacious house with like lots of room for, things for your Sims to do. But I did want to do a house that was all on one floor, and the reason being is like okay, so my boyfriend, he plays The Sims, or he's been playing The Sims a lot lately. Like he's not as into the game as I am, but he has been playing a lot lately, and he likes to just sim in houses that only have one floor. And I tease him because like I kind of like him like that's you're lazy because yeah, like he just doesn't like even like to take the time to switch between floors. So every time I do a build, he's kind of looking at it like, oh, but how many floors does it have? Oh, that's too many. So I was like, fine, I'll build a one level house. But at the same time, I've been wanting to build a ranch style house, so it just gave me an excuse, or it just gave me the idea to do it. The fact that he was like, how many floors does it have? The past couple builds that I've been doing because he's been playing the game more. So that's what made it come about. But it actually wound up being a really cool house, and I'm really happy with it. So I actually would like, now that I've created it, I've been thinking about it since, and I kind of want to play in this house if I get the opportunity. So maybe, I don't know, maybe it could be something. Well, I don't think it would work with my uh, baby challenge video, but I'll think about it. There's at some point I'll be able to use it. So anywho, I don't know if I said yet, but this is winds up being two beds and two and a half baths. I've had to put three in the gallery because they don't have the half bath option, which they need to add in. But yeah, it's technically two and a half baths because one of the bathrooms does not have like a shower or a tub in it. Um, but the two bedrooms are very spacious. So there's an adult bedroom and a child's bedroom. But they both are very large rooms with a lot of stuff. And the living room in this build is my favorite living room that I've ever done. It's totally something that I would want to have for sure. Like I really like the way it turns out, and it's just very particularly my style. Like I would do, if I got to make my ideal house. So I wouldn't say like the entire house is like my ideal house, but the I really do like the way that the living room turns out. So just working on the landscaping right now. I did the landscaping kind of similar to the way I did it in my Laurel's Lane build, although this time around I only used white flowers. So this entire house, all the flowers are all like uniformly white. So I thought that really looked nice with the color of the house that I chose is like a dark teal sort of color, and so I felt like it needed to have like it's such a deep color, like it needed to have like the white contrasts. I felt so, I didn't want to have any like too bright colors or anything. I don't know, because anything that I didn't want anything to clash with the color of the house because it's pretty easy. I mean, with teal, sort of like the complementary color of that would be maybe like sort of like a coral color, like a salmon color, because green and red are across from each other on the color wheel. So like, but teal is not technically, or blue is across from orange. I know that, okay, so I'm getting really technical on my color wheel here, but blue and orange are complementary colors because they're across from each other on the color wheel, and green and red are across from each other on the color wheel. So, like a blue green would be across from like a red orange. So, it would be sort of like a corally color, or yeah, like something in the coral family would sort of be like what would be the complementary color blah blah to teal. So that's a thing that I just said. and talked about, and we're going to move past it. But I felt it had to come out, and it was an explanation that was just had to burst forth from me. Um, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm a mess. Oh, it's been super super busy. I've been really busy lately. Had a lot of busyness with the work, and just been a little bit stressed out. So I'm really 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 looking forward to the expansion pack. Um, it's sort of just like, I just totally have my sights set on being excited about that. I absolutely cannot wait, to get City Living in my game and to get playing it, and maybe like to start a new Let's Play, or I definitely am going to be starting a new Let's Play. I don't know why I'd say maybe. So yeah, I'm excited to do that. I just only say maybe because I'm not sure what that's going to be, or what it's going to turn out like. But I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a straight Let's Play of the pack, and we'll explore the careers in the game, or in the expansion pack and everything. So I'm super looking forward to it. I'm really so excited. I thought the roof turned out like pretty cool. Once I added those little sort of side rooms there, I felt like the shape of the house was like really where I wanted that to be. And again, I really especially like the interior and the backyard. I spent a lot of time trying to make the backyard look really nice. Um, so that's another thing that I really like about this house. So I just want to say also thank you to everybody who's recently subscribed and everybody who's recently commented. I think it's funny. There seems to be a consensus among the people who've commented on my videos that I have a relaxing voice, which I find I find really funny. Like I don't like it's like I take it as a compliment. I mean, I don't take it as, anything bad or anything. It's so funny to me. I just don't think of I guess I don't think of my voice as any particular way, but it's just funny to be characterized as relaxing. It just makes me kind of want to like, welcome to another speed, but just play it up, you know what I mean? Like, welcome to another speed build video. Remember to breathe. Inhale, exhale. We'll get some sort of like flute music or something. Like, those like new age sounds that, like, if you go to like a card store or something, they'll have like a rack full of CDs, and you press the buttons and they're all those kind of like ocean sounds. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna have to get like a relaxing. You know what? Hang on. Welcome to byscreenside. Relax. Let your stresses melt away. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. I'll stop now. So, yeah. Anyway, I did that. You're welcome. Moving on to the interior now. Um, this internal lay or the internal layout, is it the interior layout? That's the word I was looking for. Um, it was a little bit hard to, to figure out. Like, I had a little bit of trouble sussing out exactly how I could make the best use of the space because of the sort of narrow center of it. But it worked out. I think I made plenty of room. I mean, there are only two bedrooms, but there are also two skill rooms and a great big backyard. And a very large living room and kitchen. So while I mean, every room that there is like they're all very spacious rooms, except for maybe, I mean, the like sort of creative room, which is not, I mean, it's not like terribly small, but I mean, it's on the smaller side. But anyway, you get my point. I think I made the most of the space, so I was pleased with the outcome of the interior on the whole. So, yep. Um, getting ready to start on the backyard at this point. I've really been into using like these particular trees, like the more it's a new habit for me, like just within the past few months or so. I hardly ever used the like evergreen type trees. I don't know, like are they considered conifers or whatever? I don't science was a long time ago, so apparently so was English. Um, yeah, actually, that kind of reminds me of a little bit of a funny story. When I took I had the same teacher for botany. I had one quarter I had botany and biology, and I had the same teacher for both classes, and he was this older guy with a really dry sense of humor. He was so funny. Definitely one of the funniest teachers I've ever had. And so I had him for both botany and biology in the same quarter, and I would have biology one day. Oh, and there, by the way, in the pool, flower signature pool thing has to be there anytime I have a pool. But anyway, um, so yeah, I had the same professor, and like when you legitimately like somebody walks in the room and waves at you and you have that moment like are they waving at me, and you like look behind you like, and then you realize oh yeah okay so they are waving at me, so there's just you want to avoid that awkward like the most awkward situation possible, which is when somebody waves and you think that they're waving at you and it turns out they're not waving at you, so like, and that really is like one of the worst situations that ever occurs in life. You got to be with me on this. Like, there's nothing. Well, there are things that are worse, definitely, but that's definitely up there when like you're like, yeah, hi, and then they're like not. They're not waving at you. That's embarrassing. So anyway, my teacher walks in, and I had just taken my biology formal final the day before, and he walks into the classroom and he looks at me and he says, well, I'm not sure at this point that he is looking at me, but he's like, you got a perfect score on your biology final. And like, not only like I had that, it wasn't like a I don't want to assume it's me. Like I genuinely did not think he could possibly be talking to me. Like so I turned around like to see who he was talking to and there was nobody behind me and I was like, "Oh, you mean me? Oh, really?" Like if I did, it was a complete fluke, I'm pretty sure. Well, no, I definitely had. I remember it, but it seems like it had to have been a fluke because I was just like, really? I did? Awesome. But yeah, like I just had one of those moments. I don't even remember why this came up now. Oh, because I was said something about I don't know biology or botany or whatever. Okay, yep. So that's where that came from. Yeah, he was a really funny teacher. Actually, um, we walked into the classroom one day and somebody had written on the board. I think it was something like Psychology 101 class, thanks for the baby gifts. And he walked into the room. Like, this was the class before us or another class earlier in the day. Like, it had nothing to do with anybody in our class. And so he walks in, he sees that written on the board, and he just turns around and he looks at the class, doesn't say anything, just looks at the class, looks at the board, looks at the class, walks over and erases the word gifts, and then just sits down so that it says, thanks for the baby. Genius, that man. Genius. I loved that guy. He was one of the funniest people ever. He was the best. So, yeah, there was that story. But anyway, yeah, I think this is a really, really cute backyard. And the bright white thing, I don't know. I love it. I think I probably do it too much, maybe with the, because it seems like w- another build that I did recently was sort of just like a bright white backyard thing. But uh, I really like white. I think it looks just so crisp and bright and pure and pretty and everything. I know it's technically not a color, but white is was one of my favorite colors. It's weird. Like I think of white sort of in a way as a color, you know, or at least as much if I'm gonna consider black, then I'm gonna consider white as well. I know technically are neither colors, but yeah. Anyway, I think it looks pretty and bright and nice. And so, anyway, so yeah, this is a little creative room. And I thought it was funny because I built this, I think, like the day before the patch. And one of the issues addressed in the patch was that that stack of canvases item is missing like one of the color variations on it. So if you do download this, that should be fixed by the time you download it. And also, speaking of if you download this, this is of course available in the gallery, and there is a link to the download in the description below. If you want this in your game, you can grab that there, and you just sign into your EA account if you're not signed in, and then just click the little save button to save items from the gallery if you're not familiar with how to do it. This is the master bathroom that I'm working on right now, and I did a stone floor, which I like that look of like a stone floor every now and then. I think it's really sort of contemporary and really cool. So there's a lot of in this build uses of mixes of neutral colors. So which I really like that you know, being able to mix sort of like metal tones and earth tones, you know, there's no really bright color there, but with when those are mixed well, like I really like that look. So I don't really know how to say it. I really like that. So this is the office that I'm putting together now. So there is a while I wanted this to be all on one floor, I did go ahead and build in a little sauna room downstairs. So um, I was trying to think about the growth potential for the house, so to speak, because um, I like to, if I can, remember to try and make it convenient to add on to, or at least that was something I remembered to take into consideration this time around. So I built in I left room for the staircase. I went ahead and built the staircase to like a potential basement. So you can always expand on the basement that I put there. So, you know, it's just about if you want to expand on the house, just remembering to leave like some sort of a space for a staircase to go. Although you can, I guess you could always build like an outside staircase to a basement, but there is an inside staircase down to the basement where there is a sauna room, which you'll see here shortly. This is just the foyer, the little entrance way. It's funny because the interior layout of this house actually reminds me a lot of my aunt's house. See, she has lived in this house since I was a kid, and but she and her husband have built onto it over the years, and so it's very like long, as opposed to, you know, adding another floor. I mean, there is like a basement floor to her house, but it's mostly like garage. And so anyway, they extended the house, and so it has sort of like some corridors are wider than others from where they've extended and built on and built around. And so that's what kind of reminded me of when I was doing the screenshots and looking through the corridors. It reminded me a lot of my aunt's house, which is an awesome house. I actually just went there the other day. I hadn't been in years, and I just went there the other day. It was actually a shame. She had this really super awesome pool, and growing up, I used to swim in it all the time. But a few years ago, she just decided like she didn't want it anymore, which I understand now, as in like I was super bummed when she got rid of it. Did maybe it was more than a few years ago. Maybe it's been a while now because I remember her being like What? She got rid of her pool? Like I was so disappointed, but now I can understand because like I'm pretty sure if you own a pool and somebody were to like sneak onto your property and get injured in your pool, like that would be your fault, even if they were like breaking and entering. I'm pretty sure like that's a thing, which is totally completely not fair to pool owners. So I think that was like part of the stress that she worried like that some kids were gonna like get into her pool or something whenever she wasn't home or whenever they were asleep. And so, yeah, she just got rid of it. But it was amazing. It was like a huge pool with, like the whole deal with the deep end and shallow end. And anyway, I loved swimming. I don't get to swim anymore ever, and it makes me sad, but I used to love doing it when I was a kid. I just was really lucky. I had an aunt with a pool, and then one of my best friends who lived down the street, her grandparents had a pool. So I was a super lucky kid in terms of pools. I got to swim all the time. So this is the living room that I'm working on now, and and recently, if you saw my Sable Modern build, I did sort of a similar thing where I did just a pattern in the wood, as opposed to like doing like a carpet or um, a rug. And so I really, again, it's like the mix of the different earth tones. And I gotta say, I mean, I know like it sounds awful to like, talk up my own build, but I really like that. I would really wish I had that in reality. Like that floor pattern thing is so pretty, and I like the white couches. So I know it's maybe not the coolest thing to do to be like, I love this thing I did, but I really do like that. So you'll just have to forgive me. I mean, that's the whole point of doing these things is building things that look awesome to you. Like it wouldn't be any fun to share it if I didn't think it was cool, in some way. Like not everything I build is going to be my own personal aesthetic. This living room just happens to be very much my own personal aesthetic, but everything, that I want to share, whether it not be my personal taste, I still want it to be something that I think is cool, like and something that's interesting to share. So, if I didn't think it was at least cool in some way, it may not always be my particular taste, but I still want it to be like something that I'm excited to share. So, yep. I did kind of like a little chef's kitchen kind of thing in this, like where I did side by side stoves. That's another thing I would definitely want, and if it were my house, if I were building my dream house, I would definitely have a great big like double stove. We don't even have the stuff in the game that I would want to have in my kitchen because I love to cook. So I would want like one of those great big giant fancy vent hoods that look awesome. And I took this stone from the master bath, and I also put it in the kitchen too to sort of tie the two sides of the house together. Like that would be, just sort of thematically make it look like the same person has lived in the house and renovated, and it's their taste is consistent, throughout the house. So that's why I used that, and why I wanted to make it look that way. And again, the kitchen, like this whole, I don't do open plan a lot because I'm honestly not that good at it. But I thought that this one worked out pretty well with the open plan kitchen and dining and living room. Um, I just think that the shape of it, and I kind of hoped that I would be able to do that when I was initially planning out the house. So I was glad that it worked out pretty well. So we're moving into the kids' room right now, and I did sort of like well, now, okay, never mind, because I switched over to the like guest bathroom, which I also like this little spa day side table thing that I put in there. But yeah, this is the little bathroom that is attached to the kids' room. So when I say they're spacious bedrooms, I mean they get their individual bathrooms and everything. And I thought the little turquoise toilet was really cute. And true story, the last apartment that I lived in, no, I swear, had a toilet that color. Like I'm not kidding. We had a turquoise tub and toilet. And actually in my current apartment we have a pink bathtub and a pink sink. I do not know why I seem to be attracted to very outdated bathrooms in apartments. That it seems to be a selling feature that works on me. I don't know. I like a little bit of character in a house, I guess. And also, this apartment has really high ceilings. So, one of the trade offs about like a place being old is the heating and air sucks. The bathroom is weird and outdated, but the ceilings are really tall and it's a really big apartment. So, and it's in a really sort of like nice ish part of the neighborhood. Like it's funny because where I live, it's like on one side it's really fancy houses and then on the other side it's like really not so fancy houses. Like so I live sort of in between like a really really super nice neighborhood and a really kind of a rough neighborhood. So that's an interesting thing. Um and this is the master bedroom and I kind of came up with like a crazy little thing for the master bedroom. I don't know how to describe it. Just I think it's just complete being completely worn out with the bed options that we had. So I was like, I've got to do something to make this bed different. I'm so sick of these beds. And that's another reason why I'm super looking forward to city living because we're finally going to get some new bed styles. And oh, I'm so excited. All this build content that I'm seeing just looks amazing. So this is going to be my last build until the city living expansion pack comes out for sure. Because I'm already seeing some of that content and I already am starting to have ideas for builds and things that I want to do. So that just has to happen ASAP. So hurry up November 1st, please. Yeah, I'm so excited. So yeah, I built this sort of, I used the candle thing, like the room separator from Spa Day, and some curtains and some plants just to kind of make an interesting looking area around the bed. As you'll see here, I'm building this and I think it looks kind of cool. It's a little something different. I don't usually do strange things with the move objects cheater. I don't experiment with it a lot, but I don't know. I thought this looks really cute. So we are actually already getting ready to come up on the screenshots. I hope you've enjoyed this build. If you have any ideas, comments, suggestions, or feedback, please don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Again, you can download this on the gallery. There's a link in the description below. Until then, take care. Have an awesome day, evening, whatever's going on with you. May it be awesome. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.